Tyler and Shane.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit move of Tyler to show up without saying anything to us at all. He didn't even make it to the podcast.
That's crazy. I think we actually took a lot of time the other week to like plan out the schedule. And I had put on my calendar cursed recording on Monday because I think that was the original plan, because it was going to be like just a very scuffed episode because the week wouldn't have even ended yet at that point.
Yeah.
But here we are with no Tyler.
No Tyler.
It's a sad day, but we're going back to the OG times. Joined here, me, the host, Jonathan, joined by the one and only Jakelers. So what's going on, buddy? Welcome.
If you want to air your grievances specifically with Tyler, if you message me or us on Instagram, I'll give you his home address and phone number.
We could just tell you where he is right now. Like, I'm sure we could find maybe the
That's
hotel
true.
he's staying at, and you could send him, hate mail, maybe an Uber Eats package. Like,
Can you
could
Uber
order him
Eats
some food,
dog
but
shit?
you could probably Uber Eats whatever. You can order any groceries you want at this point.
There is a service online that will send poop to people's homes anonymously.
What?
Yeah.
Huh. So that's why I've been getting shit at my doorstep every afternoon.
I think that's a different thing because I haven't been doing that to you.
Oh, weird. No, I have other enemies, I think, other than just you.
You definitely have enemies. You also live in Florida, so like they could just be an anonymous pooping.
Oh yeah, it's not in a bag. It's just actual, just feces.
Human feces.
Yeah. Like
cool.
No one's just placing it there. Like they're actively squatting and I've seen it on my Ring camera many times, but I have chosen not to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, none of that's true, by the way, if you thought it was. But yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Those Fantasy Dudes podcast. Jake and Jon, your hosts here today. Here to talk about a little NFL news. Brittany Mahomes, of course, Taylor Swift.
That segment's gonna be fucking miserable without Tyler to like run it through with you.
And that means you have to engage because it's just you and me. You can't just sit there.
No,
silent.
I don't. It's Jake. Not. I'm not doing it for the bit. I'm not. It's not because there's three of us. I don't like the bit. I don't like the whole joke.
You do. No, you do. It's.
I don't like
content. At this point, it's
I like it exactly as much as I have shared. And
can you at least Are you in the basement with the piano? Could you at least bring that out today?
Yeah, I could do that if you want.
Okay, I feel like that's the least you could do.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to.
Update.
Yeah. Sadly, that is not where the Brittany Mahomes update will end. There will be much more to come. If you want to follow us, that's going to be on Instagram at Those Fantasy Dudes, TikTok at Those Fantasy Dudes. Haven't posted a lot, and I have even been lacking on Instagram. I haven't posted our Dudes of the Week in the last 3 weeks. It's a lot. It's a lot, you guys, If you do want to be one of our producers, and all you got to do is hit upload, But it does take a little time, if you ask me to do that. Jakelers over there is already yawning, so
yeah.
3 minutes into the podcast.
If you want all the glory of being our producer, we'd love to have that. Zero pay.
Zero pay, but you'd be one of the dudes, and we would definitely thank you for it later.
We'll kick Tyler out.
Yeah, maybe this is his not his swan song episode, but like maybe we can lean toward kicking him off the pod.
This is like he's gonna listen to this, and it's gonna be like if you got to listen to your friends talk shit about you.
Well, funny enough, dude, next week I'm not gonna be on the pod, but my trip got canceled. I will be around, but I'm going to produce the show and still have Logan, Mac, and Sterling on there.
Oh, so you're going to be there during the show?
I'm going to be there, but I'm going to be pushing the buttons. And if I feel like I need to chime in, I'm going to resist very much.
You're going to do that too much.
I don't think I'm going to try not to chime in at all.
That's going to be an interesting episode.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard already, league mates Logan, Sterling, and Mac are going to be running the show next week because me, Tyler, and Jon were all supposed to be on separate business trips.
Yep. Two of us still will be, as far as I know. At least I know you will be for absolute certainty.
Yeah.
But yeah, that should be a really fun episode. All three people have been on the show already. So if you've been a long time listener, you should probably know those names, especially Logan.
I think the only people that listen to this are in our league.
I'm telling you that is not true, but you can keep thinking that if you want. Just I know that in the back of your mind, just know we do have people that love the Brittany Mahomes update. Because this is a Brittany Mahomes podcast. But if you are not listening, if you're watching on YouTube and you want to listen to us, you can do so on any of the various podcast platforms. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Radio, Stitcher, Castbox, Recent Radio, Public Breaker, Pocket Cast, Bullhorn, Castro, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, Podgeek, Podbean, Podcast Guru, Podcast Republic, Podverse, and Spotify for podcasters is our host platform.
I don't think I didn't catch that Podbean.
Podbean sucks, by the way. If you're trying to make a podcast, do not use Podbean. It's a shit platform.
Do you have to individually upload on all of those?
No, God, no. That would be horrible.
How does it get uploaded to all of them?
You link your RSS feed and it gets uploaded automatically.
Huh.
Yeah. Magic.
Neat.
Web,
Cool.
You know web stuff. You're a web guy.
I don't know anything about RSS feed, if I'm honest with you.
It's like linking like an embedded web thing. You know, like that, how that is on a web page. You link an embedded code. It's kind of like
Pixel. That.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure to subscribe on one of those
explain
platforms.
It in football terms?
It's, you know how like when there's a 53-man roster.
Yeah.
I can't explain it in football terms. That's a very hard thing to do. I could, if you give me 5 minutes to really come up with a metaphor, I maybe could, but this is not the time to do that.
There's a 53-man roster and it has one of them's an RSS feed.
And then it goes on the field and you can watch it from either streaming or maybe on cable.
Sure. Right.
On your phone. Yeah.
I got it.
That kind of works.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave us a review, please, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I think, more people use Spotify. I've seen a lot of reviews on there, so keep it up. It helps us. And if you do leave us a review, let us know, and I'd love to read it on the pod, especially if it's negative. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Jake, should we get into your favorite segment of the show?
You got it.
Here we go.
Brittany Mahomes update. Brittany Mahomes update.
Brittany Mahomes update.
That's fantastic. I figured you could do this one if you want. You want to take it from here, buddy? What's going on in Brittany Mahomes' life today?
Do you want me to make up stuff?
No, that's what I do.
Brittany, what's going on? So Brittany's been having trouble recently because it's all kind of legal trouble. There's this guy that has been really obsessed with her for a period of time.
No, we don't need to get into that. No, that's not important. Not important. So in reality, Jake, none of that is true. The real thing is, hold on, I got to pull up her feed so we have a visual representation.
Oh God, you're gonna do an off the cuff Brittany Mahomes update?
No, I have a full script. Don't you worry, Jiglers. Oh my God, she changed her profile picture. Oh, wow. I think it's because she just got her hair. She just posted a new thing. Jake, this is crazy. But I just met you, right?
I don't like this.
It's not how it goes. Yeah, look, she just went golfing, it looks like. Is it their costume? This is on their personal golf course. That's their mansion behind them. Did you know that?
I don't care.
Holy, that's adorable. Oh my God, Jake, you can't tell me that's not adorable. Look at Sterling.
Is she supposed to be the caddy?
Yes. Aw. Oh my!
I don't care.
Well, let's get into the actual.
I think anybody who comments on this stuff is just absolutely lunatic behavior. Like, to me, commenting on celebrities' Instagram posts is a massive red flag about you as a human being. Just want to put that out there. The only people I know to regularly comment on celebrities' posts are fucking lunatics.
Yeah, it's like you have nothing better to do. I don't even do that. I would never comment on a celebrity.
You comment on her posts regularly. I've seen it unrelated to the show.
I would never comment on a Brittany Mahomes post. That's absurd, Jake. And I certainly wouldn't like Jackson Mahomes in our comment as well. Either way, what we really need to get into here is the fact that this is the first week in a while where our buddy Tyler sadly won't be here to experience his favorite segment. Instead, Jake gets to face it head on and pay attention without trailing off and looking at his phone. We spoke ahead of time.
What I do.
We spoke ahead of time, and he promised he would engage and act genuinely interested in the Brittany Mahomes update due to Tyler's absence. It was
Other than
admirable of
making
him, and
promises.
honestly, the least he can do considering he doesn't add much else to the show other than negativity and bad.
The show wouldn't be the same if I
fantasy
wasn't here.
football.
The show wouldn't be the same.
It would just be two dudes having a good time if you weren't here.
You don't want that.
No, I want to hate myself for 2 hours.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
He tries his best though, and that's really all you can ask for at the end of the day. Effort. And that's what
It would
Brittany
just be
put
you and
into-
Tyler sucking farts out of each other's asses.
Okay. All right, Jake. That's a different show, and you have to pay to see that one. Brittany put in effort to every inch of her outfit this week at Mile High Stadium. I think that's what they call it. It might be called something else now. Our girl Brittany had a chance to watch her husband Patty get embarrassed by Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos on a very chilly afternoon at Mile High. Fortunately, she was dressed in a gorgeous off-white jacket, cream-colored boots, a white furry purse, and to top it off, she would never forget a splash of bright red and the Mahomes name splattered across her right thigh. We can only hope that she doesn't experience unlimited diarrhea as her husband all but laid an egg against one of the worst teams in football. It is crazy to imagine that Patrick Mahomes only put up 9 points versus a team that allowed 70 to the Miami Dolphins. This is, in fact, his very first road loss to a divisional rival. We've always said that Brittany is the good luck charm for the Chiefs, but lately there has been a new star in the building that seems to be leading Kansas City to victory after victory. Taylor Swift was nowhere to be seen at Mile High on Sunday. I'm sure she had other engagement, but you think at this point she could carve out Sunday for her new boy toy, Travis Kelce. Do you have anything to say so far, Jake?
No.
Okay. Funny enough, the stats speak for themselves. Travis Kelce has averaged 108 yards when Taylor is in attendance this season and only 50 when she is not in the building. That is a significant drop-off in production and without question part of the reasons the Chiefs lost on Sunday. Taylor was heavily missed on Sunday by the Chiefs fans and Swifties around the world. A Chiefs game just isn't complete without the queen of music atop the luxury box aside the Mahomes, Donna Kelce, and Jake from State Farm. The world was at a loss when Scott Hansen couldn't make Taylor Swift puns when commenting on the lackluster performance of the Kansas City Chiefs. Imagine if he dropped a bomb such as, a tough play for Patrick on that one. Hopefully he can shake it off and be a little delicate on his feet and find the blank space in the defense on the next drive.
I can't do this, man. I'm trying. I don't have anything to add. I don't like this.
All right. Brittany and Taylor are truly the glue that keeps the City Chiefs together and ultimately the NFL. Without the two of them, who knows what else we would have to talk about on this very podcast. It would be incredibly hard to fill the dead space amongst the two of us.
We would talk about fantasy football. That's what we're supposed to talk about.
I know it's all Jake can talk about when we are off the air. It's always Brittany this and Taylor Swift that. Either way, tomorrow's a new day, and the Chiefs play the Miami Dolphins at home next week. This could be the game of the year.
God.
And you know our girls wouldn't miss it in their wildest dreams. Follow along with Brittany Lynn, BrittanyLynne on Instagram. Be one of the 1.5 million.
Instascream. That was almost like a good little bit for
Jake would Instascream
Halloween.
whenever we do the Brittany Mahomes update. That's for sure.
If you guys would let me check out and join up at this point in the show every time, I would do that.
I was really trying to fire. I even left out like 2 sentences. Can you believe that?
Should have left out the whole segment this week.
But Jake, you know that's why the people tune in. So we just got to keep doing it. And
Is it still on the table to cancel the segment if we get money for it?
if someone just handed me a check for like $1,000, sure, I guess I'll cancel it for a month.
A month?
Yeah, you're the only one affected
$1,000
negatively by it. People still
no
tune
one
in
else
regardless.
likes it.
That's not true.
People
That's not
skip
true.
it. People skip it.
Logan is going to have to do it himself next week. Or Sterling.
Sterling is going to give him so much shit, dude. I guarantee he's going to be like, what the fuck is this segment?
Did Sterling sit through the show? Was he on the show when we did that segment?
No. He joined in straight for his segment and then left. I don't even know if he listened to his own episode, to be honest with you.
Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely.
Busy guy. A lot of things to do.
Yeah, not a lot of time for the Brittany Mahomes update. Understandable. I guess.
God, I envy that man.
Come on, give me Jake. It's not. I put a lot of work into that. I spent 20 minutes writing.
It's crazy because you can put more work into winning games.
That I put a lot of work into that too, and it really doesn't matter when Peter still has a way to fucking carve out victories in our league.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get on to some NFL news and injury updates.
NFL news and injury updates.
Cool. Not a lot of like crazy news that needs to be spoken about this week, and usually this is Tyler's segment at this rate. But something I do want to touch on is sadly the loss of Kirk Cousins' Achilles. Um, it sucks because
Why'd
first
you
of
laugh
all,
about that, you psychopath?
just the way that I said it sounded funny.
Okay.
I hate to see it. I hate to see him tear his Achilles. It seems to be such a common injury now. I think just with fucking turf fields and shit, it's just happened more often. But sucks for my fantasy team league of record. I currently don't have a quarterback, so gonna be hitting that wire, hoping that you don't go and swipe up one of the 3 people I'm after.
I can't. In
Good.
league record.
That's my thing is like I'm not willing to spend a lot of fab on this because people don't have the roster space to just pick up like
No, I don't have any
Will
fab left.
Levis. Like you don't. It's not worth it.
I don't have any fab left.
You spent all of it?
Yeah.
On who?
A bunch of people. I mean, I have Zach Moss and Jerome Ford.
Okay.
And then Joshua Palmer.
How many wins did that buy you?
Same record as you.
Well, I still have 57 fab, so what does that tell you?
So you have 25% more of your fab than I do.
That could be the
Congratulations.
difference at the end of the day. I could pick up a quarterback that you need to win in the playoffs. So
Yeah, well, I spent $1 more than the next bid on Jerome Ford, so I'd do that one again.
he's been bad the last 3 weeks.
Yes, he's been injured. Overall in the season, he's RB21. Zach Moss, RB4 on the season.
That's crazy.
I spent $0 on him, actually, so I don't know where my fab went. I think mostly him and Josh Palmer. Yeah, I spent $51 on Josh Palmer. A little bit of an overspend on that one.
Yeah, but I think he's also been a little hurt. He's still going to be great rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, I'm not complaining about my roster one iota. I have a very good team. I like just Eckler's been hurt, and then Burrow was sucking, and now I've got CD back off bye. I'll get Jefferson back after next week, and
CD played this week, no? Or the cat was that last week that he blew up?
this week, yeah, that's what I'm saying. CD's back off by 41 points this week. I feel like I feel like we both. That was a good trade for both of us.
I do want to talk about it. It right during our matchup segment, since Tyler's not here, we can kind of fill that air with a little bit of just more specifics about each league. Because we're kind of like almost halfway through the season now, where we can start kind of seeing where the cards are going to fall. So, in terms of NFL news, though, there's not a lot of crazy trades. The deadline was today. Happy Halloween, by the way, everybody.
Chase Young. I mean, it's not fantasy relevant really, but that's huge. Chase Young to San Francisco.
Yeah, there was a lot of defensive.
He's a monster.
Trades. Chase Young to San Francisco. That defense is already really good.
And Sweet from
Sweat.
Is it Sweat?
It actually is Sweat. Yeah.
Wow. Well, anyway, to
Chicago.
Where do you go? Yeah, Chicago.
Yeah, and there were some other ones too, but guys that I'm not as familiar with that I know were like they are big names, but it doesn't mean a lot to me. So, and this is probably the last time we'll ever talk about this guy in the podcast, but the Detroit Lions traded a 6th in 2025 for Donovan Peoples Choice Award. So
I don't think this is the last we'll talk about him. He's a young wide receiver. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not like stellar, but I mean,
he's okay.
Wouldn't call the guy bad.
No, he's an NFL tier athlete. He's worth a 6th round pick apparently, so that's something. And I guess the last thing, Josh Jobs to the Vikings.
I did not know about that.
Yes. How do you feel? Kirk Cousins down, obviously. He's been throwing the ball a lot. He's made Hawkinson, he's made Addison, even KJ Osborne fantasy relevant. What do you do?
I feel about Josh Dobbs?
What do you feel about not Josh Dobbs? How do you feel about the receivers on that team and what's going to happen to them with Kirk Cousins gone?
I mean, that's a major downgrade to me. Kirk Cousins is a very fantasy, like he can support fantasy wide receivers. He has for years and years. That's huge. It's terrible. I mean, I think it's a bigger concern without Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Jefferson is the type of wide receiver who can help elevate a quarterback because he has the ability to get open at a lot of levels. And also, draw double coverage in some context. And, you still got Hawkinson. Like, there's still a great wide receiving core there. Like, there's a lot of weapons. So, if they can just bring in somebody who's a game manager, I don't know about Dobbs. I really haven't been going out of my way to watch Arizona football. So
the thing is he's made Hollywood Brown has been a good wide receiver too this year, and Zach Ertz was good before the injury, and Trey McBride was the
man.
tight end 1 on the week. Like,
Trey McBride, I picked him up and started him everywhere this week and felt so vindicated.
I started him in my work league because I had somebody on by, whoever I had that I was streaming at the.
I've got
time,
him
but...
and Kelsey in one league because I was just like, I wanted, like, I mean, like I had an empty roster space that, like, I forgot who I had. I think I had Elijah Mitchell or somebody.
I actually dropped in my work league. I dropped the RB1 of week 8 to pick up Trey McBride.
Who's the RB1 of week 8?
Deontay Foreman.
He didn't do anything. Yeah, and Khalil Herbert's coming back soon. So
exactly, I was like, this is a 1-week thing. That's amazing. He obviously didn't start for me that week, but I was like, dude, he was my RB6. I'm like, I'm just gonna have to pick up Trey McBride.
Yeah, I mean, Trey McBride, I'd roll with Trey McBride going forward in this season if you had a guy like Hunter Henry or Njoku or like one of those kind of guys, those back end tight ends. Because I mean, he's got at the very least 3 more weeks of these kind of opportunities. And I don't think the game script will necessitate this kind of work every week, but he's clearly shown that he can get open and deserve some kind of work. So
did you see him push that pile this week, McBride? Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't call that dead, but I love to see the push, the fight, I guess.
Yeah, I like Trey McBride a lot. So he's who I'd be starting for. See if you can grab him. He's a good waiver wire pickup.
Yeah, absolutely. I was excited about him last year, and then Austin leapfrogged me with rookie draft trading to get him at the 111. So I still got Pickens though. So how does that? I guess it was 2021, 2020. No, 2022. Yeah. Last little story here. Will Levis joins only 2 other QBs to have thrown 4 touchdowns in his first NFL start. He looked electric alongside DeAndre Hopkins.
Who else? It's White, right? It's
you'll never guess these guys.
No, isn't it Mike White? Mike White
that was not his first career start though. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this is former Viking Fran Tarkenton.
I actually do know that name.
Yep. That's probably one of the most popular Vikings of all time. And then former Titans QB Marcus Mariota, actually.
Interesting. I would never guess them, but I do know them.
Yeah. The thing is, like, there were rumors of them trading Derrick Henry, which obviously didn't come to fruition, but the Titans are 3-4. If they roll with this, I could see them sneaking in with the 7th as a wild card team, but a lot would still have to go right. And this obviously was just 1 week against the Texans, so I don't know what becomes of this. But yeah, it's good to see. I want to see quarterbacks succeed in the NFL. It's good for fantasy. It's good for just everything because the Titans were a shit show.
You have got to be shitting me, dude. You know who has Will Levis?
Is it fucking Mac?
It's Ben.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. His team is getting... Thank God it's not a super flex. I mean, it could be... I don't know. We'll see. They'll know what he can do, and teams will figure him out a little bit. But he looked real nice.
Yeah.
Looked way better than Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, what a whiff on Malik Willis on my part, too.
Yeah, ass, dude. Absolute trash.
Really good use of my 3rd-round pick. About 5% of those are going to pan out anyway, regardless. But yeah. Any other news stories that kind of jumped out to you that you feel like need to be talked about, or should we move on to matchups? Anything that happened?
I think we talked about most of it. I would like to say, I don't know where this will go, but would love to rub in Tyler's face.
Sure, please. Any opportunity to do that.
I forget exactly what the bet was, but it was over Devin Singletary.
It was
Pierce.
Pierce or Rashee Rice. How did that turn out?
Not good. Because Pierce looked bad. There's no way Rashee Rice looked. Yeah, Pierce got 4.6. So
What did
unless
Rashee Rice get? Weren't you in the no? Tyler.
I
was
mean,
in
it's
the
not
big-
like that much better, but he did get 9.6 points.
Those
So he was in the
fantasy
Rashee.
We're on my side. Yeah. We both smashed accepted Rashee Rice over Dameon Pierce.
Yeah.
Me, and I was right. It's becoming a way bigger timeshare with Devin Singletary.
Because he's good. They traded for him. Like he's
Yeah.
not a bad running back. He's always been like very serviceable. He
Like,
was,
why beat on Dameon Pierce if you feel there's trade value there when,
yeah.
or if you want to keep him around as a younger back and,
And they're good this year. If they feel like they can make get in squeak with the 7th seed in the playoffs, then they might as well save him a little bit.
yeah.
Which I think they have an outside chance. Probably not, but I don't know. That'd be a gross playoff game to have the Texans in there.
I would love it. I love that for them.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and move on to the matchup rewind.
Matchup rewind.
Matchup rewind, and real quick, something I would like to touch on real quick before we talk about our actual matchups. Jake, you and I made a trade. I think on the tail end of week 6, where I traded you CeeDee Lamb and in return received Christian Kirk and Joe Mixon. Since then, in week 6, I won. Am I looking at the right league? Yeah, I won week 6. Did I have CeeDee Lamb at the time? I did. Okay. So it was week 7. I lost week 7 and I lost week 8. So I've lost both weeks since then.
Okay.
And you lost week 7 and you won week 8, and that was due to CeeDee Lamb.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if I don't have CeeDee Lamb this week and I instead have
You
Christian
definitely
Kirk,
lose. Yeah.
I definitely lose. Yeah. This week is one of those weeks where you put up the first most and you play the second or third most.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was not an easy matchup. Logan scored 145. I scored 162. So I needed CeeDee Lamb. That trade single-handedly. And Mixon had a nice week, didn't he?
Mixon put up 20 points this week. I guess we might as well get into my matchup here. I lost to Peter, of course, who was able to squeak out wins, scoring less than 120 points. I lost 113 to 104. I'm going to pull it up real quick so we can have it on here. Yeah, so this was a brutal loss. Fortunately, Kirk Cousins did put up almost 20 before tearing his Achilles, but it wasn't enough. Really, because I started the wrong guy in my flex. I started Jacoby Myers on Monday night. He was terrible.
You sat Mixon?
Yeah, he was playing San
Dude.
Francisco. We talked about this. Remember?
Jeez.
Literally, dude, last Sunday,
Yeah.
I was like, who do I start? It's Mixon or Stevenson.
I think my knee-jerk reaction was not Stevenson.
But then I talked you into it.
Yeah, you did talk me into it. Because it was a better matchup.
It was the nail in the coffin because I made the wrong start sit. Let's say I keep Stevenson in. If I start Cooper, Mixon, Hollywood Brown instead of Myers, I win. So big mistake on my part.
So wait, you wait, let me see the score again. Yeah, you're down. Dude, I mean, all you had to do was literally start. You
anybody
literally just
else
had to start Mixon instead of Stevenson.
Yeah, or Mixon.
That would give me 13 points.
I guess it mainly was because Detroit gave up fucking like 40 to Baltimore the previous week. So I was like, I really thought the Raiders were going to at least have plenty of receptions for Myers, but they looked fucking horrible on Monday.
Yeah, they played Detroit, right?
Yeah, but Detroit was bad against Baltimore. So
no, dude, I told you this one though. I feel like I said this up and down was like Detroit's coming back for a revenge game. Like
No.
after you don't get the beats like that and then not turn around the next week and be like, we got to turn the gas on.
I guess, dude. I don't know. I mean,
If I didn't have to start Devontae Adams, I wouldn't have started Devontae Adams. But like Jacoby Myers, I don't know if I'm firing him up this week.
he's been on fire 2017-18 with 10 targets, 7 and 13 targets. He got 1 target, dude.
I mean, against Green Bay, New England, Chicago, though.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, look, he should have done better than 2 points. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Dude, it's on Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo fucking sucks.
Yeah, he didn't help anybody.
Terrible, dude.
Devontae Adams was
Terrible.
terrible. Like, I don't know. It was a gross game to watch, especially because St. Brown and Laporta looked great. Laporta almost, like, he dropped a walk-in touchdown at the end of the game. It might have won it for me. I'm not really sure. But either
probably
way.
not. Would have just been a tougher loss.
Yeah, probably.
He would have needed to be, so it's a 7 points in PPR plus the yardage. So it would have needed to be at least
It would have been like a 15-yard
40-yarder.
I might have lost by a point.
Yeah, brutal. Brutal.
Either way, sucks. I mean, Dak Prescott's been looking good. I'll say that for Peter. At least the last 2 weeks he has. Yeah, Peter, dude. Every year, man, this happens. He's always in contention. He won last year. He'll squeak out wins like this all the time. He beat me last year when he had 2 spots on his roster empty. Remember that?
I do recall that, actually. Yeah.
It was because
Peter. It's like God is willing Peter to get a back-to-back win.
That would be the craziest fucking thing. All the effort that we put in fantasy football, and Peter does.
There's zero return on effort into fantasy football.
That's
evident, but Allie makes the playoffs every single year.
Allie
doesn't give a fuck about fantasy football.
She beat Jeff.
Yeah, good for her. I'm glad. Fuck Jeff.
On the back of Tyreek Hill. It's kind of how I'm winning in Dynasty with AJ Brown.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill. Oh, so good.
And yeah, I mean, why don't we talk about your matchup real quick? You squeaked out a close.
Squeaked out? Fuck you, I squeaked out.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you didn't squeak it out, but like if one guy plays a little differently.
That was a 17-point win.
Okay.
I had guys score. I had 25, 23, 27, 41. That's not a squeak out. Scored 162 points. You shut up. You scored like 103.
So, okay. Do you want to talk about your matchup or get mad at me?
Yeah. Well, I played Logan, who is undefeated until this week. Now he's just first place.
Only first place.
Yeah, now he's only first place. But yeah, Joe Burrow showed up finally. Thank God. If he can keep up this kind of play throughout the rest of the season, I would fucking love that. I think his mobility's back a little bit, which is awesome. You could tell he was loving it when he would run and he'd slide in and get those extra yards that his team needed to really stay active. Eckler looked awesome even with a fumble. 7 for 8 for 94 yards. That's killer receiving work for a running back. And CeeDee Lamb, I knew that a game like this was coming. He just gets too much work and he's too good to not have games like this. So if you've been watching him, you knew it was inevitable, and I'm happy to see that it actually happened. And then my personal smash start is Trey McBride. Wicked excited about that. I started him everywhere, including this league, and 14 targets, 10 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. That's the kind of game that gets you more work. Like when coaches can see they can throw you 14 targets, you can come down with 10 of them and get a touchdown and almost 100 yards. And I know, some of that is game script dependent. Like they were trying to win against Baltimore and, but still love that. And yeah, I mean,
they almost did too. Imagine, how would you feel if Baltimore lost that game?
I would have been pretty bummed about that.
Probably how the Cowboys felt when they lost to Arizona.
That's so funny. Yeah, but really, God bless Puka Nacua for not having a game like he has had all season. If he had a 31-point game, I would have been fucked this week. Or if Zay Flowers had a game that he is capable of having. I know his numbers haven't been crazy, but Zay Flowers is one of those guys that I feel like we're going to find to not be an incredible fantasy option, but to be so good at real football.
That's a fair point.
He's looked really awesome. So, yeah, I mean, obviously very happy to get the win here. once you start talking about 3 and 5, you're in a really bad spot to make playoffs. But right now I'm 4-4. There's I'm 4-4, Tyler's 4-4, Allie's 4-4, John's 4-4. And I play Allie this week. And then John plays a team that he should get beat by.
Am I playing Logan this week?
No, you're playing Brad.
Yeah, and I have nobody in my lineup.
You've got, you've got just god awful options.
Okay, well, I don't have a quarterback. First off, I don't think my
you
options
have
are god
Ross,
awful. I have
you
the
have Amon-Ra
RB3
St.
and
Brown.
Joe Mixon.
You have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Laporta on bye. You have Mostert against Kansas City when Mostert has clearly been hurt, and they've got Jeff Wilson, and they go on bye the week after, so they're not going to just like bury him in the ground while he's injured.
Mostert is not hurt. I don't know where you're getting that.
What do you mean? Mostert is just coming off an injury.
No, he's not. He's played every game this season. I don't know what you're talking about there.
I swear to God, he was just limited this week, and there was concern. Am I wrong?
I think so. They threw the ball a lot. He got 13 attempts. That's about the same as he's gotten all year. On average, for sure.
I swear to God. Yeah, he was dealing with a foot injury, but it just wasn't that they just didn't list him like he was questionable. I was not wrong on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not confident with this team, at least especially this week. Essentially I need Brian Robinson to continue to be bad, which he has been. Josh Jacobs playing the Giants. That's probably the best matchup that he can really hope for. He also has Devontae Adams. I hope he has a week like he did this week. We're not really talking about
bro.
T. Higgins. I need him to continue to suck. They're playing Buffalo, so hopefully that happens. I think I have a chance to win. I think it could be a gross, sneaky, disgusting victory.
I wouldn't be so sure about T. Higgins, man. With Joe Burrow back up, like I would be worried about him. He's gonna have a game.
I don't know.
It may not be this week, but
he's been throwing the ball to Tyler Boyd more than T. Higgins lately.
I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, it is.
T. Higgins
the last
was
2
hurt.
weeks. 7 for 7.
They were on bye last week.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, Boyd has literally been better. Other than
yeah,
one
you gotta
game.
hope for a good Jacoby Myers game and a bad Devontae Adams game.
Yep.
Also, what is your roster? You don't have a QB, a tight end, a kicker, or a defense in there.
Yeah, I dropped them, so I just
Fournette.
preemptively drop it ahead of the time and then go after guys. Yeah, it sucks to have Amon-Ra, Laporta, Kirk all on bye this week because they're the ones that have been winning me weeks, so it sucks.
Yeah, I gotta play Allie while she gets Jordan or Trevor Lawrence on bye, so she'll start Jordan Love against the Rams, which I hope
Jordan Love.
That's a pretty decent start right there. But I feel confident in this matchup. So
Allie's team is disgusting.
It's really good. Allie's team's capable of a lot.
And Dalton Schultz has been actually like not terrible.
All right, you ready to talk Dynasty?
Yep. All right, let's move on to the Dynasty League here. Run right into my matchup. I found a way to beat Jake last week. Not by much. It was a gross victory, but a win nonetheless. And this week, I found a way to beat the 2023 champ Sterling.
Did you just bring up the same matchup that we talked about last week just to be like, I beat Jake?
Yeah. David beating Goliath. Isn't that what you're
Didn't we already talk about it?
I think it warrants talking about again because I beat one of the best teams in the league, and I beat you last week, one of the lesser teams in the league. So it feels good. It feels good to have beaten. For me to have a chance, had to beat one of you, both of you. I have to beat Sterling, you, Logan, or Tyler at least once this year to be able to make it in.
Such a bullshit matchup, dude. I'm so pissed.
I mean,
fucking Calvin Ridley, and oh my god, I forgot about Riley Patterson literally putting up a complete goose.
Yeah, because they missed. They went for 2, and I think he didn't even attempt to kick in. Week 8.
Ridley and Patterson like absolutely fucked me. If they have even like okay weeks, I beat the shit out of you.
Either way, still a loss for you at the end of the day. But I did find a way to beat Sterling. I think really on the back of obviously Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. The stack is just disgusting. 5 weeks in a row, AJ Brown is 125 plus yards receiving. Jalen Hurts is him. He threw for 4 touchdowns, which is actually not typically what he does. So I'm glad that he can do that as well as run the ball. They've been doing fake tush pushes, which is hilarious.
That's super funny.
Which is like, if it's not a big enough fuck you already, they're starting to just doing it. They're faking it, which is just fantastic. Honestly, highlight on the week just because he's been bad as Joe Mixon. I think I love seeing him get. He was efficient. I don't know. 5 yards on or 5 yards per carry. It's pretty good. Got in the end zone. That's great. Sterling loses Kendrick Bourne this week, so I don't think that helps him very much. But the big plus for me is Mahomes and Cooper Kupp did not show up this week. So that's the type of luck I need to happen for me to pull off victories, and who knows, maybe it'll happen in the playoffs and I can get a championship.
Yeah,
That's the goal.
It's John. This is leading up to be a typical John season.
Yeah, I'm very well aware that I am the 6th best team in the league, and
oh no, I just realized I have a problem.
Do you realize
Darren Waller's out, and Evan Ingram and Kirk, Kittle are on bye this week?
Oh,
that's not good.
And you play who next week?
I play Ben,
and you were worried about that matchup.
Yeah, because he's got a sneaky good team, and I don't have Christian McCaffrey or Kittle or Ingram. I just didn't realize I didn't have. When I looked at this matchup previously, I knew I'd have to play Waller, but Waller got hurt last week. That's not great.
You have anybody else a 4th tight end on your roster? Or that's it.
No. In what world would I need to roster fucking more than Waller, Ingram, and Kittle?
Yeah, I mean that's bye weeks are a pain in the ass, but also the fact that you have those 3 tight ends and you can't start any of them. Yeah, that's crazy. But you, how'd you do against Logan? In Dynasty this past week?
Dude, this is a tough one. This is a real tough one.
Is this the same matchup, but it went the opposite way almost?
It's pretty much the same matchup, but it went the opposite way. I scored the 3rd most points, and Logan scored the 2nd most points. And somehow that's how the cards. Sometimes that's how the cards fall. I had a great week. I scored 142 points. It would have beat literally, everybody except for Tyler and Logan, which any given week, the 3 of us could beat each other. You know, like all of our teams are good enough that it's, it's like that. So tough. Tough. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them. And, I lost this one. And it's, things aren't looking as great as I would like them to for the bye. I luckily am still scoring more points than Tyler. And I'm only 40 behind Logan. So that feels good. But Logan's had a sweet schedule. Only 759 points against. That's crazy.
8-0. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that in a league that I played in. Someone goes 8-0 to begin the season.
Yeah,
I think I went 6-0 last year in League of Record and then lost.
The good news for you and me is Logan and Tyler play each other this week. So
wow, that is actually huge.
Truthfully, I would rather see Logan beat Tyler so that I can jump up ahead of him and be in better spot for that.
Jake, do you know? Do you know my record going forward? Because I've played you, Tyler, Logan, and Sterling now already.
Yeah.
So I have, and I've played Ben. I think I played Ben. I'm not 100% sure. I think I play him, but he has a lot of players on bye. I looked at all my upcoming matchups. I play Frank this week. Who's 0-8.
Yeah, you've got a crazy rest of the season. You got to cruise.
Troy, who's bad. Mac, Dane, who's been bad, but he could find a way. Connor, who has half his team on bye that week. He doesn't have the Vikings. So he doesn't have Addison, Hawkinson, or Zay Flowers. And then I play Austin, who hasn't been good.
Hey, John, let's not suck ourselves off. You scored 116 points last week.
I'm just saying, Jake, I could literally be like 10-3. I could have a better record than you at the end of the year going to the playoffs. That has every possibility of happening. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it has every possibility, but your team is still worse.
I know. I don't, but it doesn't matter. We've proven that.
You
You're
scored
4-4 in
116
league of
points
record.
last. Yeah, you scored 116 points last week. 103 points the week before.
I'm aware of this. I know that my team isn't as good. I don't have fucking 3
103 points the
RB1s.
week before that.
Yes, aware. Again,
125.
not denying that. Yep, not denying that.
I mean, you're just like this. This was an outlier week for you. 116 in week 2 and
I don't think it was.
90 points in week 1. Yes, it is. It's an outlier by definition. You've scored more than 130 points twice this season.
Yeah. But I'm only 1 game behind you, and that's fantasy football for you.
Yes.
So.
They right there with you. I mean, more power to you. It's an easy schedule. I mean, the same kind of goes for me. I got Frank after this week, and then Sterling, which is tougher game. Tyler, those are tough. But then I coast on the last 2, which with Mac and Troy, which is great because that's what I'll need. I'll need 2 good wins there. So I these next couple weeks are critical. I have to beat Ben. I have to beat Sterling now. Like there's no other options.
Beating Logan. But
yeah, I mean yes, but now it's like it's more important because
this is how I'm looking at it right now. Is obviously you guys have been the contenders from the beginning. I have you as the top 3. I think playoff teams, it's going to be either Connor, Ben, Sterling as the 6, or me. And then 3 of these other teams here, I think, are making the playoffs. If Dane can actually pull together some wins, I think he could sneak in. But the real battle here is for the 101. And I think that's the most exciting thing because right now, I think it's Troy has the least points for, max points. But Troy doesn't have his own first. Frank has his first. So if Troy continues to be the worst team, then Frank gets that 101. Otherwise, Mac will get the 101 because he has Frank's and his own first. Because those are the bottom 3 teams. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's just fun to see the battle at the top and then the battle for the worst. And that's after a couple of years in Dynasty, that gives you a few different things to cheer for. So
max points for, right, that's the
max points for, yes. It doesn't show it on the computer. I have to look it on my phone, but
yeah, max points for it's right now it's Frank. Frank has the lowest. Wait, no, I'm sorry.
Troy, I think, no? Or is it Mac?
It's Mac. Mac has the lowest points for.
So right now he has the 101.
Only by a margin of about 25.
So 24. Frank is 100 points ahead, I think. But but he doesn't have his own first. So it's Troy. If Troy finishes worse than Mac, then Frank gets the 101, essentially.
Oh man.
It's weird. Yeah, it's when you trade picks like that.
That's why I'm so happy to have, my team I feel is in such a good spot. Like I've got all these players that I can win now, and then I'm just banking on 2026 because I've got Logan and I've got me, and then I've got second rounders from you, and your team is gonna fucking fall apart by then.
Thanks.
And Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
And Sterling. That second round pick from Sterling in 2026 is looking real tasty. That's like a 201, 202, 203.
I don't know. You say that now, but every year he gets Trey McBride, he got Christian Watson. I think those are both very solid first round choices.
No, he doesn't have McBride. He has Kincaid.
Or Kincaid, yeah.
Yeah, Kincaid. I don't know. I think that's good. Knocks out, that's good. And Christian Watson really hasn't been him this season.
If Frank would just go out and actually make some genuine moves and maybe swallow his pride a little bit, I'm sorry, Sterling, then I think that he could, get some picks and make a powerhouse team to go forward.
Christian Watson, dude, he's the wide receiver 88 on the season. He does not look good. He
injured. Looked good last year. I think that if the Packers got their shit together, he would look
I mean,
better,
I'm gonna say he looked good because Aaron Rodgers was throwing him the ball and he was getting touchdowns.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. But at one point, I was like, that's a great pick.
Touchdowns are not a sticky stat. He should have sold off Christian Watson right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's Sterling.
I would have tried to turn around Christian Watson for like 2 future firsts or like a future first and another pick.
I don't think he would ever have gotten 2 firsts, but
no, but he could have gotten like a first and
a second,
first and second from a bad team, or like a first and some player or like.
But that's assuming, because at the time he would have had to, first of all, know Aaron Rodgers was going to leave and know that Christian Watson wouldn't be very good this year. To make that assumption.
No, it's some of it's hindsight bias, but still, I don't know. At that time, with a guy getting 3, 2, 1 touchdowns a game for a stretch,
yeah,
I'm shopping him around, but I don't think he was doing that.
No, he's not the type of guy to do that.
No.
But that is the type of guy to go after. But Sterling is really hard to negotiate with. So.
Oh my God, it's miserable, dude. It's miserable.
Yeah. It's like
I'm
negotiating
happy I got
with
a
you.
second. No, I'm better, dude. I swear, I'm easier to deal with. Sterling is great, but talking with him sometimes he's such a salesman. It's so hard.
Yeah, he's got the voice for it. But yeah, real quick, let's get into our dudes and duds of the week.
Dudes and duds of the week.
Dudes and duds of the week. Mine is going to be the guy that pretty much gave it the win against Sterling in the Dynasty League. It's going to be AJ Brown. I think he was the wide receiver 2 on the week behind CeeDee Lamb.
I mean, that sounds right.
Actually, I want to see. Somebody else might have done better.
Than 41, dude, I'd be surprised.
Wait, stats, fantasy points. Oh, week 8. CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Hopkins, and then AJ Brown at the wide receiver 3. But he was 8 for 8 for 1 with 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's fucking disgusting.
I know part of Hopkins doing so well is just 3 touchdowns in a crazy game against Atlanta. But oh my God, if this becomes a Will Levis, DeAndre Hopkins like end of career resurgence, I'll fucking lose it.
I mean, that'd be great for your team. You would have to start benching Devontae Adams.
I do have to play him next week because McCaffrey's on bye.
Wait, so you're starting Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley then?
Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley.
And then like all your receivers and your flex, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still don't know who I'm starting at tight end.
Yeah, I'll trade you Logan Thomas for a first round pick.
What? Fuck off.
Okay. I thought you wanted to win your matchup. Okay.
Yeah, Logan Thomas is going to win me my matchup.
He got 16 points last week and a touchdown. He looked great.
Okay.
Right. My dud of the week, Jacoby Myers. Go fuck yourself, Las Vegas Raiders. Jake, what do you have?
Dude of the week, Trey McBride started him a bunch of places, won me a couple matchups this week. 25 points, 14 targets, 10 receptions. Love to see that in a touchdown. Yeah, he was great. My dud of the week, this one feels pretty obvious. It's Devontae Adams. What the absolute fuck?
Wow, both Raiders receivers as our duds.
Yeah, the Raiders looked fucking horrendous last night. Jimmy Garoppolo needs to get off the field. I mean, just absolutely insane to have a guy out there for 96% of your snaps, throw him 7 uncatchable fucking targets. Goddamn, I don't know what their problem. I don't know why they're sticking with Jimmy G. I don't know what happened with Derek Carr, but what a nightmare, man.
It never made sense. Why do they want to get rid of Derek Carr so bad? They didn't even have their alternative was Jarrett Stidham, and he's not even on the team anymore. It's not like they were like, oh, we have our guy. We're not gonna be winning games the rest of the year anyway. Let's just get.
I just don't know why you get Devontae Adams in a situation like that. Like they brought him in because him and Carr played together in college, and then it's like you ship away Carr after that.
It wasn't the fault of the quarterback. It's the fault of the fucking team around them. I mean, they have a good defensive line.
Max Crosby's an animal.
He's crazy. I think he got gifted a fumble when I don't think there was I think he was definitely down, but didn't matter. They were 3 and out anyway. I don't know. Jimmy G, I think he's probably still injured too.
Yeah, he's coming off a back injury.
Yeah. But let's why don't we get into survival football. Survival football. We all won this week, including Tyler. Good job, Tyler. Jake, you had the Lions, who obviously decimated the Raiders.
I felt like that was such a good pick. That's where I was. I was telling you that last week. You seemed unsure, but I'm telling you during this segment last week, you run it back. I was saying they're going to come back for a revenge game and beat the shit out of the Raiders. And they did.
I don't know why. I guess I saw what the Lions did. Baltimore's just maybe they're just a really good team.
I mean, yeah, like I'm sorry. The locker room after that Baltimore game, that must have been tough. You don't forget it. You
I'm
don't
sure
forget
Dan Campbell
that.
was saying, "Come on, man, we got to do this, man, God, man." Doing a lot of mans because that's what he does.
Talking about biting kneecaps and shit.
Aiden Hutchinson probably beat the shit out of something. He probably broke a locker in half.
He does kind of look like the kind of guy who would punch drywall.
Yeah,
Totally.
or like cement or something.
Did you see that clip of him rushing the passer where he looks like Waluigi?
No.
Oh, you
What?
should look that up. Yeah, you should look up on YouTube Aiden Hutchinson Waluigi.
Really? Aiden?
Yeah, can you play it on the show?
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have sound, but I can play it.
Yeah, you don't even need sound. I mean, I guess it's well, I'll do play by play.
Aiden Hutchinson one-handed. Aiden Hutchinson
Waluigi.
3 weeks ago?
Yeah. Sounds right.
Okay, one sec. Display against the Panther. Either I'll play it.
No, it's not this one.
What the?
That is crazy though.
What the? Okay, first of all, wow. Where did he even come from? He was like behind Bryce
Yeah.
Young there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Anyway, you can find it later. It's on social media, but it is wicked fucking funny. He's like high stepping and like flailing his arms as he's rushing the passer. It's pretty funny.
He's crazy. The Lions have made some insanely good draft picks.
Aiden Hutchinson. He was a Michigan guy.
Sure was.
I love to see Michigan guys going to Detroit. It's great. It's like Maryland guys going to Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah, so Lions, Tyler had the Chargers, they won. I had the Ravens this week, so I got a win after losing the last 2 weeks. But Jake, who do you got this week, buddy?
Who I got
can pull
this
up the
week?
schedule for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why don't you pull up that schedule? Because I don't know.
Week 9, baby. Week 8 in the books. Week 9. Here we go. What do you got?
Ooh, that Dolphins Chief. That's a nice 9:30 a.m. game. Can't wait to completely
that's
miss
crazy
it.
that's in freaking Germany. That seems
That's
like
actually
Monday
that's actually
night.
like a regular time. I think Germany compared to Tanzania is not that different in time difference.
Yeah, the longitude must be similar, whatever latitude. What's the difference? Which one's which?
I couldn't tell you, brother. I haven't picked the Browns yet, have I?
I don't think so.
Well,
no. You want to pick the Browns this week?
I don't know. Let me look at the rest of them before I.
You're really just gonna pick another team against the fucking Cardinals? Come on.
Well, they're starting a different quarterback, which is kind of like that.
Why don't you pick the Patriots? They're probably gonna win this week, right?
Gross. No. Ooh, there's some tough matchups here.
How are we gonna get Tyler's pick? Is he able to contact us? Because he has to give us a pick.
I don't know, dude. I think we should lock it. He already locked in the Patriots a week ago. Otherwise,
I feel like didn't we give him one as a joke like last year and they ended up winning? We gave him like the Jets versus like it was the Jets versus the Patriots and they won or something stupid.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's give him the Cardinals.
Yeah, fuck it. Then I'll take the Browns.
Fuck
One
Tyler.
of us will be upset.
Fuck you, Tyler. I hope he has a great trip and gets a lot of overtime pay. You're taking the Browns?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jake taking the Browns, and
what terrible pick are you gonna make here?
I don't know. We'll see. Let's do the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper.
I hate when you do it afterwards.
I did it to begin with. Geez. You know what? You know who looked really good? Can I still pick them? I can. And I always go with an impulsive decision, and usually that doesn't work out. But, the Vikings just lost Kirk Cousins. And they're going to be rolling out a 5th-round rookie who's never played an NFL snap. And the Falcons, I do believe, will have Taylor Heineke, who has the dog in him. He's going to be trying to prove that should be his job. And I think they're going to take down the Vikings. I'm going with the Falcons.
Hey, did you see this week where they had, who was it, Jonnu Smith throwing a pass to their other tight end that wasn't Kyle Pitts?
What?
Yeah.
I knew he threw a pass.
They had a tight end too Their tight end 2 throwing a pass to their tight end 3. I forgot who the tight end 3 was.
I hate Arthur Smith. If I saw him like in a bathroom, like at the other urinal, I would push him into that urinal and watch him pee all over himself.
Pee all over his pants.
Be like, how's it feel being covered in your own piss? Because that's how I feel with Kyle Pitts on my fantasy team.
Yeah, he threw a pass to Tucker Fisk.
Who the fuck is that? Who
They
the
have
fuck is Tucker?
John,
Tucker Fisk?
How many tight ends would you say they have on the 53-man roster?
4.
5.
And where
The other guys don't even sound like real people. John Fitzpatrick sounds like a different version of John Doe.
that sounds like a made up character, like when you're in your 6th season on Madden.
They
and
have
like, it's your career mode, and they just have fake players coming in.
Michael Pruitt, Mycole. The C and M are both capital.
This is
Michael.
what the fuck, dude? Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith, Tucker. This is so frustrating, dude. Why is it, dude, that like whenever it's a backup, it always has like a name that feels like it should be a backup? Logan Woodside.
Michael Pruitt is 31 years old.
Never heard of him.
He's been in the league since 2015. Played for the Vikings for a year, Vikings for 1 year, Chicago Bears for 1 year, Bills for 1 year, Texans for 1 year, Tennessee Titans for 2 years, San Francisco 49ers in 2021. Oh, he was only on the practice squad.
Wait, who
Titans.
did Jonnu Smith throw the pass to? Did he catch the pass?
I don't know.
Because Michael, and maybe it was Michael Pruitt. He got a reception for 3 yards.
Yeah, it's probably him then.
He's the wide receiver or the tight end 5. And Kyle
Amazing.
Pitts
Absolutely
got,
amazing.
3 catches for 35 yards last week. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. I hate being a Kyle Pitts owner. I think if you have him, you know the pain. But yeah, I think it's time to get to the next segment of the show. And obviously that would be when.
And now, Dr. Logan Johnson.
Man, I don't want to hear this guy talk shit.
We'll see. I asked him for his little entry of the week, and he said, "Give me 45 minutes. I'm playing tennis."
How come you haven't responded to Chris, a loyal listener?
Fuck! I keep forgetting about Chris.
A loyal listener.
I'm
wrote
so
in
sorry. Wait, I
and you
said,
just
you know,
keep sucking up to Dr. Logan.
All right, I'm so sorry, Chris. I'm gonna pull up your questions, and we will talk about it after Dr. Logan.
They're all going to be irrelevant now.
No. I don't think they are.
Week.
I don't think they are. Let me. Okay. We'll start with Dr. Logan. I promise, Chris, we will answer.
Talk about a guy that's in none of. He's in our kicker league, but he's in none of our other leagues. Listens to every show. Great listener. You fucked him over.
I told him. I literally said, I'm like, I said, I know, man. At least we can blame Jake because he doesn't do anything. Oh no! And then I said, I'm sorry, bro. I'm just an idiot. I forgot. So
yeah, at least he knows it's your fault.
There's that. But why don't we listen to Dr. Logan?
Hope I'm sending this over in time, John. Jake, you and I, both of us, 3rd highest points for with a loss. What can you expect from juggernauts in the league? I'm just fucking around. No, but for real, Rashee Rice, Deontay Johnson, and Lockett. Pick 2. Pick 2. Lockett's against Baltimore. Rashee Rice is against Miami. Deontay Johnson against Tennessee. Got to start 2. No physical therapy advice. I'm not even up to date on the injuries going on right now. Poor Kirk Cousins. He's out for the year. I hope he makes a great comeback. Poor guy.
What the fuck was the last part, Logan?
I think he might have forgotten that he was recording. I don't really know. I like that he sends us when he's driving, always, and his hair looks really nice. Do you agree?
His hair does look nice. Clearly a fresh cut.
Yeah.
Also for me, it's Deontay Johnson and Tyler Lockett.
I also forgot the question. It was Rashee Rice, Deontay Johnson, or Lockett?
Yeah.
I think Deontay Johnson looked good. I think he looks like Deontay Johnson again, but they
looked-
did just lose their quarterback. They have Mitch Trubisky throwing in the ball now.
Mitch Trubisky's fine. If anything, it's going to be better because Deontay Johnson will get like a bunch of shitty targets and get like 17 points.
I think it might be better for Najee, to be honest with you. Than
Could be bad. I mean, it could be better. Honestly, I don't see that as a major downgrade. You know,
No,
if it was another quarterback that was like genuinely good to Mitch Trubisky, then I'd be like, oh, big worry. But like Kenny Pickett's Kenny Pickett. I'm not too worried about the trade off between Trubisky and Kenny Pickett.
it's all bad regardless. But DeAndre Johnson will get targets, and hopefully so will Pickens, but probably less. Yeah, I agree. I'm not going with Rashee Rice. I think that he's kind of a flex play that you throw in there if you don't have anybody else.
When it's him and Dameon Pierce, I'm going to go with him. But versus those two other, established guys, I'd rather start those two. It's the safer option. I'm not saying Rashee Rice couldn't pull off a huge game because, he's got Patrick Mahomes, always possibility. But I would rather start those two over him.
Also, DK Metcalf has not been looking as good. He had like 14 targets last week, caught 5 of them. I think he's really good at drawing PIs, but
he is. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was thinking today, I'm like, it happens so often where I'm like, dude, that would have been a great catch if it wasn't for that guy committing a penalty. We should get a point for that. I don't know. You should get a point for them drawing a PI because that's a genuine skill.
Next
to do
year,
that.
we should start a league where you get points for
holding.
For penalties.
If that's an option, I think just because it happens so often, like think of DK Metcalf down the field, PI, and he gets his team like that's literally a 50-yard game in some aspects. Like I don't know, it'd be a funny little thing, but be a funny little thing. I agree. Lockett and
DK Metcalf 101.
Yeah, right. He's 40 points a week just in PI calls.
All right, let's read Chris's.
Okay. Let's see what we got from Chris here. Why don't we play the drop though? If I can find it.
Fantasy Dudes Mailbox.
Is Dr. Logan's segment just now about him asking for stuff? Because it used to be about about him having some kind of input on medical something, but now it's just him being like, I gotta win. Anyway, what do you think about this start sit in my home league?
I think it's not so much him like giving doctoral input, if that's a word. I'm gonna make it a word. He is Dr. Logan, so if he is actively chiming in some way, it still counts. That's how I look at it. Let's see. Chris said, my questions didn't get answered last week. What the hell? Let me go back up and find them.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. I'm too impatient for the poll to pop up, but you guys have been begging for anyone else to submit questions, so here they are. Tyreek is 150 yards shy. He now has broken 1,000 yards, but does he break 2,000 this year?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see a reason he wouldn't. He's Tua's favorite wide receiver. Tua's been throwing the ball well. He's looking pretty healthy. I think he has just as good of a shot as any other wide receiver has to break that number. We saw somebody do it recently, didn't we? Who broke it? Didn't Cup hit 2,000?
I'm going to see stats of last season, 2022. Cup might have done it in 2021.
Yeah, we saw somebody break 2,000. Or was it 2,000 rushing yards? I think we saw that.
No. Reception yards. Oh, Jefferson had 1,800 last year.
It was Derrick Henry in 2020. That was what I'm thinking of.
Cup had 1,947 in 2021.
I was thinking of Derrick Henry in 2020, who had 2,027 yards.
That's because all the team did was just run the ball.
Oh my God. Wow, really puts in perspective how friggin' good guys like Eric Dickerson, Terrell Davis.
Yeah, it's insane. I just want to look at. I'm looking at Tyreek. I want to base it on Cooper Kupp's performance.
Dude.
Like, is he getting targeted the same amount? Because Tyreek Hill has 87 targets right now with 61 receptions in week 8. In 2021, Cooper Kupp finished with 145 receptions on 191 targets.
Dude, I don't mean to I don't mean to harp on this, but Barry Sanders, wow, 335 attempts, 2,053 yards, 11 TDs. 6.1 yards a carry across the season.
Yeah, I mean, he was
Averaged
the
100
best running back of all time.
I just wasn't, I was 2 and also not into football as a kid. So that's crazy. That's unbelievable.
At least the Lions have that, and now they hopefully have a team that can win a playoff game. God, if the Lions could make it to the Super Bowl, I would be ecstatic. That would be so cool to see that in your lifetime.
Oh, no one's ever broken 2,000
as a wide receiver.
Yeah,
Cooper Kupp came the closest, I think. 1947.
It's actually Calvin Johnson with 1964.
Damn.
In 2012. And then Julio Jones in 2015. And then you got Jerry Rice, Antonio Brown, Justin Jefferson. Wow, crazy. Jerry Rice did that at 32 years old.
Jerry Rice, man.
Jerry Rice, fucking anomaly. Yeah, talk about another anomaly like Barry Sanders. Jerry Rice is the same kind of guy.
I want to go to 2020.
Who was Isaac Bruce, dude? Was he?
He played for the Rams. He was talk about a PPR guy back in the day.
He's only 22.
I think Tyreek Hill could do it. Because I was looking to Cooper Kupp play 17 games. He did. He played all 17 games in 2021, and they had 17 games in 2021. Yeah, sure. I guess he could do it. Why not? I think
Tyreek can do it for sure.
We'll do another question here.
Yeah, I think you owe him that.
Yeah. Geez. Even if JT comes back, which he has, and takes over the backfield, is Zach Moss worth a stash in Dynasty?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. After the clinic he put on this season, even if he's not on the Colts going forward, there's definitely a team out there that's going to grab him. He looked really nice this season. So, yeah, totally worth. I mean, especially in Dynasty where you got roster space. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on where you're at too, though. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be good 3 years from now.
I think Zach Moss probably, if you have him in Dynasty, if you've been in a league for at least 2 or 3 seasons, at least in our league, he's on a team that was arguably bad before the season started.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's not. Maybe you have him. Maybe you had Jonathan Taylor and you weren't able to trade him after he got, or I don't know. Maybe you have Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss and you're still a good contending team. So,
yeah,
if you have him, I would hold on to him at this point.
Yep, I agree.
You did him already when he was on a high, Did Taylor Swift boost your viewership like it did for the NFL? Jake, you might hate the answer to this question. It's our most listened to episode of the season. Is Week 4 Taylor Swift?
I hate this, man. I just want to talk about fantasy football with my friends and have people write in and be like, "Who should I start?" And then we can be like, "Well, I like this guy because of this." I'm so tired of it, man.
Our most listened to is Week 2 when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and then it's Taylor Swift, and then it was last week's with Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift are all also in the title. So I'm going to tell you for an honest fact that it does help boost the listenership.
Fuck, man.
That's the world we live in, everybody. But I do believe that is going to do it for this week's episode.
Thank God.
If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. It's crazy. Like, I wonder if people have the same reaction to when the episode ends as Jake does.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just,
you know what I mean? Like, Jake is so happy it's over. Are you guys also so happy that it's over? You know what I mean?
Tired of Brittany Mahomes. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too dang bad.
Is that from Talladega Nights?
Nope. That's from Holes. The movie Holes.
I was talking about Holes. I was literally talking about Holes.
You're talking about Holes?
It was a different context. No, it actually was about the movie Holes. We were talking about Shia LaBeouf and how he did this remember when he did this thing where he sat at a movie theater for 48 hours watching all his movies in a row?
That was crazy.
Yeah. He went through some phases.
End the show.
Okay, Jake. Jeez. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Follow us on all the social medias and leave us a review. And best of luck in your Week 9 matchups.
Thanks for tuning in to Those Fantasy Dudes podcast. Make sure to tune in next week and follow us at Those Fantasy Dudes on Instagram.
Thought I wish Tyler was here.